everybody, and welcome back to the Junket folder. We are on episode 4. I cannot believe that we're on episode 4 already. I feel like I've been doing this forever, but I also feel like I've not been doing it for that long either. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody who's started doing a show or a podcast. But I have a really good feeling about today's episode. I'm very excited to have my guest on, and people throughout Scotland, specifically Glasgow in the UK, should definitely know who this guest is because her comedy style is just absolutely amazing, and she was the first person I ever saw on The Social. She was my introduction to The Social. And if you don't know what that is, I will leave a link to that down below. I'm on there too, as well as so many other amazing, talented comedians. And I have met this guest once in person, but I feel like I know her because her videos just speak so much to me. I just think they're great. So without any further ado, you guys know my guest from BBCTheSocial and Short Stuff. So I'm going to introduce you to my friend, Miss Natalie Erskine.
Oh my God, you're so sweet. Thank you so much for those lovely words. I'm sitting here just like, oh my God. Hello, thank you so much for having me on. This is super exciting.
This is really exciting for me too, and just a little disclaimer for my viewers. My microphone is not working again, so I'm having to hold up this little tiny mic, and this is a new shirt, and I don't want to crease it, so that's why I'm having to hold my mic. So when Natalie's talking,
Fair enough.
mic's down, and when I'm talking, mic's up. But I have your questions here, but before we get into that, I just want to know how you're doing. How have you been?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. We're coming out of lockdown. We're finally able to go back out and experience a bit more of normality. I've been to Tim Hortons more times than I care to admit since we came out, and this is my, I want to say my 8th iced coffee of the week, but it's only Tuesday, so that seems impossible. I still haven't got my eyebrows done though. They look kind of nice because of the camera, but they're so bushy.
Great.
Thank you.
They're thick, they're shaped, they're like the colour's great as well. So yeah, no, I think your eyebrows look great.
Oh, thank you so much. So, I mean, I got to know you through BBC The Social. You were the first person I ever saw on The Social. And the first episode, I don't know if it was your first sketch, but it was the snow one where it was like, look at that blizzard. And I just thought, that is everybody I know. Like, this girl's so on it. Like, how, like, and I think I joined The Social maybe like a year after that. So I came after, so I was like a little baby when I joined. When we first met at the Christmas party, I was super nervous, and Rebecca McPhail, she came up to me and she was like, oh, do you want me to like introduce you to some people? And I was like, yeah. And I saw you from across the room. I was like, is that Natalie Erskine? She's like, yeah, come on, introduce you. I was so nervous. I was like, I'm actually, honestly, I just think your stuff's brilliant. I'll leave tons of links to Natalie's videos down below because it has to be seen to be believed. They're so on point.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you for the kind words. Snow Day is definitely my most successful and most popular video. So like there's like a joke amongst me and my friends that like all I ever do is go on about the views, right? So it's got like over 22 million views, everybody, just so you all know. But the joke is that like I literally just go on and on about it, and like every time it hits like another new million, it goes up from like, so it was missed 21 million, now it's missed 22 million. But I'm like super proud. I'm like, that's great. I think that's a great achievement. But we all laugh about it and jest, obviously. But that is one of my most earlier on videos. That's like classic Natalie for sure. The first video I ever did was when you've worked in customer service so long, and I look back at that and I think, you know, that was a really like funny idea. So basically, like me and my partner are acting as if we are in customer service at home. So like we're folding our clothes a certain way, and we're, you know, asking each other if you need a wee hand there, all that sort of thing. And I remember looking back at that one and just thinking like, wow, I've came such a long way, because I remember in one of the shots, like I'm not even in focus, and that just like would never happen now. It's not a thing, whereas back then I was like, oh my God, that's great, that's so good. So it is funny to look back at the very first one and see like how much I've developed and progressed. But that is the social. It's a development platform, and it's the same with everybody. I'm sure yourself, Charlotte, you'd look at your first video and think, "Oh my God, I came such a long way." And it's like it's a really validating thing. So yeah, that was my first one, but Snow Day is definitely the one I get quoted on the most, for sure.
That's amazing. So as I've said before, guys, please go and check out Natalie's videos on the social because they're iconic. They're one of the, I mean, it's kind of like the OG, like, you know, you have like a series that goes on for so long. You've got like the cast from like season one, and then as you go on, there's like newer people and their stuff's great, but there's nothing like the original, if you know what I mean. So that's just the best way that I can describe Natalie's content. So definitely check that out. No problem at all. So we've talked a little bit about the social. Now I just have some fun questions. I honestly think that my show's turned into like a dating show. I feel like I'm on a date with all my guests, and I'm just trying to like get to know them. And it's people that I've never met before, or I've met once, or it's my friends that were just trying to help me out. So I do have some questions here, and they're super easy. They're super funny, and they've been kind of catered to what I think you'll like. One of them isn't really a question; it's more just like a discussion. But you'll like it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so my first question for you, Natalie, is it's a two-parter. So first up, are you a Disney fan?
Oh my gosh, yes. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Disney so much. I literally have, I'm looking around and I have all this Disney stuff. I've got a Winnie the Pooh bag for life over there. I've got a Rapunzel ornament over there. I also have, which was one of my favourite gifts I ever got, my sister bought me a working clock Cogsworth from the Disney store. So it's not the Primark knockoff. Like, sorry to anyone who bought that, but it just did not look like Cogsworth enough for me. So I've got like the OG Disney one, and he's a real working clock. He's over there. Amazing. So yes, I love Disney.
So the second part to that question was if so, which you do, because I was worried. I was like, what if she doesn't like Disney? But the second part to that question is, what is your favourite Disney movie?
Aladdin holds a special place in my heart because I loved that when I was wee. But I love Tangled. I just think it's the perfect film, especially because Disney went through that like little phase of flops, you know, where they did like Home in the Range and was it Chicken Little, and they just like they didn't do very well at all. And then for their 50th animation, they went old school. They brought out Tangled. Anyone who knows me knows that like Flynn Rider is like the perfect cartoon version of the perfect man. Yeah, I love it. It's got all the songs that I love. It's got a great storyline. It's amazing. Yeah, Tangled, it has to be my fave.
100%. I love Beauty and the Beast. That's because she said Cogsworth, I was like, oh, I think she's gonna say Beauty and the Beast. But I'm not surprised she said Tangled because if you're a big Disney fan, then you kind of know the history of that. That was their 50th film, and it was like, right, we got to do something that's gonna appeal, that's gonna bring in money, because they were just kind of churning out stuff that wasn't really. I wouldn't have been rushing to the cinema to see it, but when I saw that Tangled was coming out, I was like, okay, I gotta go. Like, I have to go. I have to go and see this. And I wasn't disappointed in Flynn Rider. You know, come on the show if you're if you're free. Come on the show with me and Natalie. Would love to talk to you. Love to chew your ear off. How did you turn from a bad guy into a good guy, or were you always a good guy? Like, these are the type of questions. Like, I have fantasies of having Disney characters on my show all the time. So, okay. So my next question for you is: would you rather go on an adventure or read about one?
Can't go on one for sure. Um, like I just like to do stuff. I'm always up for trying new things. I love to go swimming and sort of like in the ocean is like my favorite place to be. There's also a really lovely place called the Falls of Falloch, which I went to 2 years ago and did a bit of cliff diving, which was really fun. So I haven't been to a lot of my dream destinations around the world because throughout my 20s I was saving for a house, which was really responsible, I guess. And then I really was like, right, this is it, I'm going to go travel now. And I had 2 holidays booked, and then COVID hit. So we'll put a pin in them. But yeah, no, I'd much rather go on an adventure. Like, I'm always up for doing stuff, especially outside. Apart from like hill walking, you won't really catch me hill walking. Maybe if the occasion really calls for it, but usually there's no need to climb hills. You just get to the top and go, all right, that's it, I got here. You take a picture, you go back down again. I just don't see the appeal in hill walking, to be honest. But I mean, each their own. But go on one for sure.
Yeah, I've been on a few Munro bagging adventures with my dad. He's a huge Munro bagger. I remember he took me up Ben Nevis, and I honestly thought we'd never make it to the top because it was so busy for a start. Like you don't realize how busy that hill is. I say hill, it was like an actual mountain. Um, and then when we got to the top, it was just completely covered in clouds, and it had been raining. And there's like a little shelter at the top of the Munro, and my dad and I took shelter in there, and he was like, "Do you want a Snickers bar?" And I don't like Snickers, but I was honestly, I've done a vlog about it. It's disgusting. My makeup's running down my face, and my blonde hair hadn't been like recently bleached, so it just was like a horrible like color. And I just scoffed this Snickers bar because I was so hungry. And the descent back down is super rocky. Like at the top, it looks like you're on the moon. And I said to myself, I'll never do that again. That was like a once in a lifetime thing. And then when I worked at Odeon, they were doing a hill walk for Sam H, and I volunteered to go, not knowing where we were going. I didn't even ask where we were going. I just knew we were getting on a bus, and it was an overnighter. And then I realised we're going up Ben Nevis. I can't, not again.
Oh my God.
I did it, but I was by myself because my group, we all kind of eventually split up near the top. And I brought like so much with me. I brought like a huge backpack and a little fold out chair, like what else did I bring, like a crap ton of food. I think I even brought a book because I took a little break. But yeah, that's the kind of one of the things I do with my dad that we consider like adventures, but I haven't been in over a year because of COVID. So Dad, if you're planning on going again, I'll skip it, I'll wait, and I'll try again next year.
I mean, what an achievement though, to say you've been up Ben Nevis twice. Like, that is amazing. Like, this is the thing, people will tell me like, oh, I climbed this hill, and I'm like, oh my goodness, good for you, that's amazing. And they're like, do you want to go? No, never, ever, ever. And like, I have asthma, so I always just tell people I'm asthmatic. Like, I can't go to the gym, I can't climb a hill, I'm asthmatic. And then people try and argue with me and go, just because you're asthmatic doesn't mean you can't go to the gym. I'm like, I think that remains, to be seen. That's up to me, really, isn't it? Like, who are you to tell me? Because yeah, exercise is like just, it's not for me. It really isn't. And I'm blessed because I can eat anything and just like stay the same size, which is great because I don't exercise. But it's because it's too much hard work. I'd rather do something else.
Like watch Tangled.
Yes, exactly, repeatedly with popcorn.
So, what comes to mind when you hear the word joy?
My sister. She's the funniest person I know. Like, she's so much funnier than me. Everybody, watches my videos and go, oh, Natalie's so funny. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. But literally, you've not met my sister. She's hilarious. And we have all these inside jokes. And we, like, do this thing where we quote cartoons that we watched as kids. So, like, Bugs Bunny is a huge one. And we'll quote that to each other in random circumstances that it makes sort of sense, and just find ourselves just howling, and nobody else gets it, which is great. So yeah, I love spending time with her. She brings me all the joy.
Oh, this is a good question. This is something I meant to ask my last guest, but I totally forgot to. Have you ever had a supernatural experience or an experience that you couldn't explain?
Yes. So, right, anyone who knows me knows that I scare very easily, right? So like, I do not watch horror films because I just don't want to subject myself to sleepless nights. I just can't do it. So last horror film I watched was It, and I went to the cinema to see it, and like, I barely seen it because I had my eyes shut the whole time. And like, I will maybe watch a thriller. So like, I watched the new Halloween movie, and that was okay because apparently like a serial killer is fine, but paranormal stuff just isn't. So I am like so scared of like paranormal stuff, will not watch those movies. And then this happened to me, and thankfully my sister was there to be like, oh my gosh, like I seen that too. And I was like so freaked out, like didn't sleep for a couple of nights because I was just like covers over my face. But we were in in fact, I won't actually say whose house I was in. I was in someone's house, right? And we were sitting in the living room watching a movie, and the living room was upstairs. So we were sitting on the couch, there was a staircase to our left, and we were just watching a movie. And then all of a sudden, we just saw this like white flash of light, but it was like almost like a camera flashing, but in slower motion. It was the weirdest thing. I can't quite describe it. It sounds mental because it happened so quickly that by the time we looked, it was gone, but it felt like it was in the corner of my eye for eternity. And it was like this white orb that flashed and then like just went back in itself and disappeared. And then I sort of like looked at my sister and she looked at me and she was the one that said, "Did you just see that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, thank God," because yes, and I thought I was crazy. And then I described it to people and they go, "Oh, was it maybe like a car driving by?" And I was like, "No, because it didn't happen near a window. It was literally a staircase. There was no windows, there was no nothing." And it was so weird. In fact, do you know what? I've got loads. It would take up way too much time. And I'm starting to wonder, is it me? In fact, actually, no, it's not me because nothing's happened to me in maybe in about 3 years. So we'll see. But yeah, I've got loads of stuff. And I definitely think there's something paranormal going on in the world. And it super scares me. So yeah, I don't dabble in any films or anything like that. But you know, that's the big one.
Well, if something does happen after this interview airs or something, then you've got to text me and let me know if something happens, because that would be such a coincidence, seeing as it's been a while since an encounter like that has happened. But I'm so glad that you're a believer of that stuff, because I am as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm a little bit like, ugh, I don't really know, but things do happen. You know, nothing kind of huge has happened to me, but I've heard from like family members or from friends and now yourself, and I'm just like, right, something's got to give, because there's no way people can just make this stuff up. Like, there's just no way. Like, my sister Bronwyn swore that she saw someone standing in the hallway of my aunt's house in America, and she thought it was my cousin, and she like, or it was someone in the bedroom, because it was like a long corridor and like a bungalow, and she was like, right, cause like, let's go out, and it was the middle of the night. Well, not the middle of the night, it must have been like 7 o'clock, but it was dark. Because why would they be going out in the middle of the night? But she went into his room and he wasn't there, but she swore that she saw him standing in there. And she went and she said to my auntie, "I've seen someone in his room." And she was like, "Oh honey, we have a ghost. Like, that's just like, don't even worry about it." And then I went and stayed at her house the summer after, and I just was like saging every room of the house. I was like, nope, not while I'm here. You stay out. Like, I ain't doing this.
No, that's a huge no for me. Like, if anybody says, "Oh, we've got a ghost," or "the house is a bit haunted," I'm just like, okay, bye, not staying here.
We got to talk about Shania Twain, I think.
I love Shania Twain.
That was remember I said to you earlier, like, it's not a question, but it's more like a statement. Because that was one of our kind of most recent interactions on social media. I'd done a post about love of my life, Brendan. And Brendan, if you're watching, come on the show. I would love to have you on the show. And Natalie was like, "I don't get it," because it's like my 100th post, and you're like, "Oh my god, like, I know him from the films," and you're like, "Yeah, that's Shania Twain for me." And I only know I mean, I'm sure I know other Shania Twain songs, but I only know "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." I'm not that versed on her, but what is it about Shania Twain, Natalie? Let's talk about it.
I mean, she's fabulous, for one. She's glamorous. She's an amazing singer. She empowers women every day with her words. She's timeless. Like, there's just, I mean, how can you not love Shania Twain? I just don't understand. And I think, well, basically, all that aside, so when I was younger, so my Uncle George, who's just like a wee gem, he'll watch this. He always like comments on my videos and shares everything. So hi, Uncle George. He'll watch this. So when I was little, whenever I went to my Uncle George's house, right, so he was like the fun uncle, and we got away with murder at his house. We could just do whatever we wanted. So like, one of the things was he always bought like real iron brew, whereas my mum would buy iron brew, BREW. I still have not forgiven her to this day for subjecting us to fake iron brew. So we'd go to his house, he'd give us real iron brew, and then he had the Come On Over album. That's Shania Twain. And and he let me put it on as loud as I liked, and I just loved it. Like, Man, I Feel Like a Woman is iconic. And then I felt like, you know, I grew up in the 90s loving Shania Twain, and then, you know, she didn't tour for the longest time, and she was just this like icon who I felt like I would never see in concert, because, you know, when she was at her biggest, you know, I was too young to go and see her in concert, or like, you know, maybe my did she even tour here? Honestly don't know, right? So basically I felt like I'd missed the boat when it came to Shania Twain, and I just continue to love her. She's my karaoke song. All songs of hers are my karaoke songs. And then all of a sudden she's got this new album and she's touring and she's coming to the Hydro, and I get tickets and I go, and it's the best concert I've ever been to. She's amazing, she's glamorous, and she spends such a long time like talking to the audience, addressing her fans, telling life stories. It was like 3 hours long. It was an amazing concert. Then she goes out into the crowd and picks somebody out to come up on stage with her, and I was just like, why was that not me? She's just amazing. I'm just awestruck by Shania Twain. I really wish she was on Cameo, but she's not. I just really want to talk to her. I really want to meet her. I just need her to know that I love her, and I've loved her for like 20 years. Actually, more than 20 years. 25 years. I think that's showing my age. But I've just loved her for that long. Wow, it sounds a bit scary actually. Maybe cut that last part out in case she watches this.
We'll start a hashtag Natalie and Shania, and we'll just get it trending on Twitter, and we'll get her looking like, who's this Natalie? And I'll just every day we'll spam her with just all your stuff and all your. I mean, that I genuinely think that if you know like your favorite singer or your favorite actor is like a good and decent person, that just makes you want to meet them even more. Because I've heard some proper scary stories and horror stories about people going to meet their idols, and it's just the worst experience of their life. It's like they're not who they look like to be on camera, and they're just really rude. And obviously each their own. Like, sometimes they don't want to be harassed or like pose for pictures and stuff. And I've always had this thing where if I met somebody that I idolize like on the street, I would not be like, can I get a selfie with you? Can I get an autograph? I would honestly just want to say hi. Like, that was always my thing with Love of My Life Brendan, obviously. And then I saw he was coming to Comic-Con, and I just thought, this is not happening. Like, this guy never does conventions. Like, he's too big for that. Like, you know, and then he was definitely there, like, because I'm always worried even when we got to London, like, he's going to cancel, like, he's not going to come. And I met him a few times over the weekend, and he was just the nicest person. Like, honest to God, he just held my hand when I was, like, freaking out. And he was like, just like in through the nose, out through the mouth, just breathe. And I was like, you have no idea what this means to me. Like, and my boyfriend was right there, and I was just like, I completely forgot he was there. But he was the same, because I had met him on the Saturday, like by myself, and then on the Sunday, he was doing like a panel, and the both of us went to get a picture. But I thought, I have to do this alone. I think the first time I meet him, I should be myself. And I just completely forgot about Cameron. Like, he just completely went out of my mind. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I have a Cameron. I should probably like talk to him. But no, he was just absolutely amazing. And I think in a couple of weeks I'm going to have a couple of guests on that run a Brendan Fraser podcast. So I'll be able to talk to them all about this, because, you know, they're awesome and their podcast is really fun. So if you're a fan of Brendan, definitely go and check out their podcast, because, you know, it's not funded or anything. They just do it because they really admire him. So definitely go and check that out if you're a fan and you're watching. But yeah, sometimes they say don't meet your heroes, but in terms of Shania and Brendan, I think they're both wholesome people. I think they're both good.
Like, you can just tell, like, and as well, like at our gig, like, you know, she took the time to talk to the audience, and like I said, she went and like got someone from the crowd and then just like stood and talked to them, and the girl on the stage was like, can I take a selfie? She's like, yeah, of course. And then she was like, she held up our phone, and then Shania was like, say, let's go girls, and I was just like, oh my god. So she seems super lovely. I would be scared to meet her because obviously, like, I love her music. I just love her. Like, and the thing is, like, I don't know what it is. I just love her to bits. But like, if I met her, it would be it would be amazing, but I would be shaking. Like, I would be shaking. I'd probably start crying a little bit as well, which actually, like I never thought that I would, because there's so many like celebrities, like for example, like the biggest celebrities in the world, like say like for example Robert Downey Jr., right? So cool guy, really funny, but I'm not a huge fan of Marvel. Like if I saw him walking down the street, genuinely I'd be like, oh my god, that's Robert Downey Jr. And then I would just go about my day. I would acknowledge it, and I'd acknowledge who he is, and that wow, what's he doing in the middle of Glasgow City Centre? But like I wouldn't approach him, I wouldn't ask him for a photo or anything, because it's not like I'm not a huge like fangirler over like any celebrities. It's just Shania. Shania, really.
My heart belongs to Shania. I'm gonna see if someone can make you a t-shirt of that, because that seems like something you need.
My heart does belong to Shania. Like, it really does. And my unapologetic love for her will never die, and that's what it is. It's so unapologetic. I know there might be people like Shania Twain, she's so washed up. First of all, no. Second of all, don't at me, don't come near me. Like, clearly toxic. Don't want to be your friend if you don't love Shania Twain. Yeah.
If I ever, in an alternate universe, if I ever do manage to get her on this show, I'll make sure that you're here with me, because that seems like something that needs to be done with yourself. I'll just sit and record it. I'll just not even say anything. I'll just let you two do your thing.
It just cuts to me crying. I can't even speak.
Okay, we got 2 more questions left. All right, these are fun. I love this episode's questions. I think they're just, I'm getting better. I think I'm learning with each episode what to ask and what not to ask.
Great, like it's just so much fun. I think like this is the reason why I wanted to come on, was because it was just something fun to do, and it'd be nice to like, I have a really lovely, I don't want to say fan base, right? Because I don't want to sound.
I'm your fan. I'm your fan. I'm part of the fan base.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. But well, I have the people that follow me. They are so lovely. I get messages all the time saying, "Hey, love your stuff," but also I've been getting lots during lockdown saying like, "Hey, where have you been?" And it's literally just because like I have been away, but I've been writing lots and I've been working on like bigger things. But like I think that's really sweet. Like normally when somebody sort of like fades away a little bit and they've not worked for a wee while, it's not until like they sort of reintroduce themselves or come out with something new that they get lots of messages. But I get messages all the time asking like, oh, are you okay? How are you? Like, looking forward to the next video. And I think that's so sweet. So it would be really lovely, for everybody to just see that I'm fine, I'm doing well. And then also like, having like being able to talk about things that are fun rather than just like work, because that's what it is essentially.
That's just what I'm trying to create here, is just a sense of escapism, and just kind of stripping down the actress or the musician from like what they're known for. And I think that your fans, because I'm a fan, so yeah, we have a fan base. I genuinely think they'll enjoy watching this, because they'll get to see a part of you that they don't always get to see on the social. And sometimes people that I have on are working a lot, or they're just going back to work, so they're like, it's nice to just sit and have a conversation and just have a fun chat and just get asked the most quirkiest of questions. Because with my first episode, that was with Ford, I was really nervous because I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to ask this guy, like. And we'd spoken beforehand, and he was like, just ask me anything you want, just make it fun, don't make it stuffy, don't be boring. How long do you think you'll need me for? And I said, oh, just like 7 minutes or so. And it was like a 49-minute length interview. And when he tweeted it, he went, I think he said, this cheeky bastard said it'd be 7 minutes or something. So I was like, oh shit, oh no, he's never coming back. But nah, I hope to have him back on, and potentially more Still Game cast members or Chewing the Fat people, because they're so well known in Scotland, and I just think it would be nice for fans to get to see who they are, and that's hopefully what I'm trying to do for people.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I've seen your interview with Ford, and I've seen that he enjoys peanut butter, but only fairly recently. And see, when I was watching this, I was like, mate, same. Like, see, back in the day, I hated peanut butter. I hated the smell of it and the texture of it, and it was just not for me. And then recently, I've just been like, give me all the peanut butter, especially with lots of chocolate. So totally relate to that.
Amazing, amazing. So there we go, guys. Natalie's a peanut butter fan as well. I think I'll just ask everybody that because it's a universal question. Because I was the same. Didn't like it. Couldn't.
Either love or hate it, right? As well. Like, there's sort of no in between. There's nobody who's like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's all right. It's either like, oh my god, yeah, love, best ever, or no, oh my god, seriously, peanut butter? What?
Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. If you had to live without one of your five senses, which one would you give up?
Oh wow. Okay. Right. Okay. You need your sight because you just need it. It's like actually like a full blown miracle when you think about it, and we take it for granted every day. So I need my sight, need my hearing for sure. I listen to Spotify every single day without fail when I'm tidying up, driving to work. Any sort of mundane task is made better with music. Need my eyes for watching all my Disney movies. Oh, do you know, it is difficult because there's always something that you'd miss, but I think if I had to choose, I'd need to go for my sense of smell. Oh, but then you think about all the smells you'd be giving up. Like, my favourite smell is vanilla. So, like, a vanilla scented candle, a vanilla scented body lotion. Oh, it's so delicious. I love it. And then I also love lavender. Oh, no.
So not smell.
Difficult, difficult. It would need to be between smell and touch.
Mm-hmm.
Then you think, is touch really that important? But then, you know, what happens when you get into your bed at night, into nice, fresh, clean sheets, and they're all like soft and snuggly.
I would have said touch as well, but I fell asleep on my arm the other night and it went numb. And when I woke up to turn off my alarm, I couldn't like get a grip on my phone. Like I can't explain it because my arm was so numb. I was just like, oh, so I wouldn't give up my sense of like touch. So I'd need to think about that again. I think for me it'd probably be taste because I need my eyesight to see things and I need my ears to hear music 100%. So I think I would probably give up my sense of taste, which would suck because I love food, but
Yeah.
I'd probably just be like, you know what? If you give up your sense of taste, you can eat all the really healthy stuff that tastes like crap and you'll look amazing and it will be fine because you won't taste it. So you'd be alright.
I just don't think I could because I think of all the amazing food. Like, so there's also a joke between me and my family members and some very close friends, right? So I really love to eat. I love my food. I kind of prioritize my entire day around eating. So my alter ego name is Fatally. Yeah. I know, rude, right? Rude. So, but yeah, so basically it's like a personality rather than an insult. So basically when it comes to like, we're going out for a meal, I'm the person that downloads the menu beforehand and looks at everything and everybody's like, oh look, Fat here, Fat out again, and yeah. Rude, right?
That is very
I
rude.
find it hilarious.
Oh man. So wait, what was your answer? I don't even know if we have an answer yet. Do we have an answer?
Yeah, right, okay, so I think I would need to be my sense of smell as much as I would miss all my lovely smells and I would have no use for any scented candles anymore. If I had to choose, it would have to be my sense of smell.
You heard it here first, guys. Sense of smell. It's gone. It's dead.
I feel like I'm going off on all these tangents. I don't mean to.
No, don't be silly. Of course not. That's why I honestly I sit for like a full day and try and think of what are good thought provoking questions because sometimes I'll ask something and it's just like a one sentence answer I get back and I'm like, right, next question, and then I get lost and I don't know where I am. Okay, this is your last question before we hit the Scottish round.
Okay.
I don't know why I said that like that. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay. Oh, this one's fun. Natalie, if you could be friends with someone from a book or a movie, who would it be?
That is a really great question. I'm so sorry. I thought this was on silent. It's my mum. I will call her back.
That's all right.
Can I call you back? All right, okay, bye. Apparently it's not important. But she called, like, literally, can I call you back? Oh, it's okay, it's not important, I'll just go. Like, no.
Natalie's mum, everybody.
I understand. Honestly, my mum is a character. Right, so sorry. I'm putting this on silent now. Thought it was.
Okay, don't worry
So
about
sorry. Right, friends with somebody from a character. No, sorry. Friends with someone from a book or a movie. So difficult. Do you know, I've forgotten like every book and every film I've ever seen and read all of a sudden. So I would be friends with Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games. It's one of my favourite books, and I love the films as well. And she would be able to teach me really great survival techniques. Yeah, can get good at archery, can forage for berries, can slaughter, 24 opponents in a ring if needed. Because this is something that I chat about regularly, is that, so my profession is an actor stroke writer, and I was always thinking about, if a zombie apocalypse happened, I would be completely useless. So you get these people that are like, oh, I'm a vet, so like I can, do surgeries on people, or, I'm a joiner, so I can build us like some shelter. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can act. You want me to like entertain you, take your mind off things? And I would be a bit useless. So I've always wanted to learn how to like build a fire and self-defense. And I think she would be really great at that because, I mean, she won the Hunger Games basically twice, let's be honest. So, yeah, Katniss Everdeen.
I absolutely love that answer. When Hunger Games came out, I was completely obsessed with it. I even made my own little bow and arrow from wood that I found like in the pitch behind my house. It was one of those really long, skinny trees that's like really bendy, and I just tied some string to it. And actually, on my wall, there are still holes in the wall from where, like, dents from where I actually shot my arrow. But it wasn't like sharp. It was just I used to run it. I used to run it through a pencil sharpener to make it sharp, and then I'd have to cut the tip off because I didn't want to injure anybody. But it used to hang on my wall, and every time my mum came in to like give me washing, she'd be like, "Oh, so like when are you gonna like stop being obsessed with Katniss Everdeen and do something different with your hair?" Because I always had it in the braid, because it was just my absolute fave. And I was just like, "Oh, I don't know, mum. Like Twilight's coming to an end, and I just need something new." And now I've gone back to Twilight, so because we got Midnight Sun. So yeah, I totally get that, and you do want someone that would be able to like help you out and defend you and fight off opponents and haters and internet trolls, and I think that she could be pretty good at that. So I absolutely love that answer. I didn't expect that, actually. I would not have expected. No, I don't know who I thought you would have said. But I just thought, oh, I wonder who she'll say. Like, I didn't know if you were bookish or not. So, I love that it's a book character, kind of more than a film character. I don't know about you, but the book, especially the first one, always made me hungry. Like, they just describe lots of food. They just describe so much food because they're like starved, and then like halfway through, it's just like, oh, we came to dinner and it was this amazing meal, and it was hot chocolate, and it was like pie, and it just always made me hungry. Like, I always loved the first book.
Yeah, thinking about it, there is a lot of description about the foods, and obviously, like, they are for the few days before they have to go into the arena, they are treated like kings and queens, and they get to eat as much as they want. So yeah, I can't wait to go back and reread it, because it was years and years and years ago. So I read it twice, but the last time I finished it was years ago. And I don't own the movies, which is weird because I feel like that's something I should have. Because there's many times where I'm like, I really want to watch The Hunger Games, and it's like not streaming anywhere. So I really need to get myself some DVDs. Do you remember them DVDs? They're like going out of fashion already. Yeah, no, she's a good one. I used to be a lot more bookish than what I am now. I just feel like I just don't have the time to read, which is ridiculous and insane because I had a year off essentially, and basically binge watched everything on Netflix. So I could have definitely read more. Yeah, that's not an excuse, Natalie, that you don't have the time, because you've had all the time in the world. Literally.
Okay, everybody, so you got to know Natalie Erskine there a lot better than I anticipated getting to know her. And before we finish up this episode, I just want to say again, thank you so much for coming on and for giving up your time to be here. I just really appreciate it, and it's I don't even know, like, I just feel like I'll watch her videos with completely different eyes now. I'll be like, she was on my show, that's my friend Natalie. Like, I don't know.
Thanks for having me on. Honestly, it's been lots of fun. I'm super flattered that you asked me to be on your show. I forgot the word there. I've forgotten a lot of words during lockdown, so bear with me, anyone having a future conversation with me.
Don't even worry about it. So this is your Scottish round. How well are you versed on Scottish culture?
I don't know, like, I guess the average amount, but then, with these sort of rounds, you sort of realise, like, you're not as up to speed with everything as you should be. So I'll say an average amount. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Alrighty. Alright. Question 1. What is the longest river in Scotland?
This is like, right, geography was my worst subject in school as well. So like people will be like, oh yeah, I'm from, I don't know, East Kilbride, and I'll go, oh yeah, I know East Kilbride, but actually I'm thinking, wait, where is that again? And it's not even that far away. Disclaimer, I do know where East Kilbride is now, okay? That was just an example. The longest river, the Clyde?
It's the River Tay.
Alright, okay.
By the way, I don't know.
To my knowledge, the Clyde's quite long.
Yeah. It's long for us because that's where we live. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. There's 4 questions here. No, there's 3 questions here I didn't even know the answers to, so I'm not sitting here like up on a high horse like I know all the answers. I don't, like, I just Google them before I have people on the show, so don't even worry about it. Okay. Who invented the television?
Oh, do you know? I do know that. It's in the back of my head somewhere because I remember my mum always used to tell me it was a Scottish person that invented the television. I know it's a man. It's not Alexander Graham Bell because he invented the telephone, but I'm wondering if he branched out a bit. I don't know. I don't know why, right? But there's somewhere in my brain the name Mark is being pushed to the forefront. But again, I don't know if that's right.
So it wasn't Mark. It was it was John Logie Baird.
Oh my god, yes. Do you know when you say it off like that, you're like, oh my god, how could I ever forget that? Like Alexander Graham Bell, it just rolls off your tongue, and I knew it was like a long name.
Long names back then, didn't they? John Logie Baird, Alexander Graham Bell. They had such long names, but that's two things that are still very much used today that were invented by Scottish people. So you're welcome, world. You're welcome. Our ancestors created this and this, so you're welcome. Okay, this one should be fairly easy if you've watched The Crown, because it gets mentioned.
The Crown?
Yeah.
Oh, so I made it to like episode maybe 5 of season 1, and then I was just a bit like, nah, it's not really for me. Like, it just wasn't really exciting enough. It was like, oh, she's had another argument with Philip. Oh, like, like there wasn't anything really going on that gripped me. So I have seen a tiny amount of it, but I didn't persevere.
You should watch the most recent season about Diana because that was really interesting. That was the best season for me personally. I loved that entire season.
So you don't think I need to start from like season 1?
No. See, because it's not like made up. See, because it's like based on fiction, like, oh no, non-fiction. Sorry. It's because it's real events. It's things that have happened. You really don't need to worry about, oh, if I start season 2, then something will happen in season 1 that I don't know. You can start from any season. Like, she ages. It like goes forward every like 5 years or something like that. But the last season is all about Margaret Thatcher.
and Princess Diana, so there's no need to worry about missing seasons. You're not missing much. The earlier seasons are so much more political and quite droll. Like, I don't know, like when it comes to more modern times, for when like our parents were younger and Diana was like, you know, alive, it's more current in a way, so it's more enjoyable, I think.
Yeah, that was a very dramatic time for sure, so I think that probably would hold my interest a bit more. But yeah, it was a bit droll.
Yeah.
And for someone who's basically completed Netflix in lockdown, like many people, I didn't get through that, so I'll give it a watch. But anyway, carry on your question.
So what is the name of the Queen's Scottish residence?
I feel like that was mentioned in season one, because she buys the property in season one, doesn't she? The Queen Mother.
Yes, I think so.
I'm really worried about saying something completely ridiculous and people to be like, "What?" I don't know why. Okay, but this is coming to mind. Is it Balmoral Castle? Is it? Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god! I cannot believe I got that. I was like, my brain was going, "Tell her it's Balmoral." I'm like, "No, it's not Balmoral. Don't be ridiculous, Natalie. It's Balmoral." No, it isn't. That's so stupid. I don't know where Balmoral came from, but yeah, is it Balmoral Castle?
There you go, it's Balmoral. That's the one.
That's exciting.
Right, you're on it now.
I can't believe I got that.
You're on it now. That's it. We've started the ball rolling. Okay, second last question. Which Scottish city is nicknamed Granite City?
Aberdeen?
Yay!
Is it? Oh my god, that was a total stab in the dark.
There we go.
Why is it called Granite City?
Everything's made out of granite, I think. I think like all the buildings are actually made from granite, so it's called Granite City.
Okay.
I've never been, it's too far away for me to go. But when you Google it, all the pictures, all the buildings look like grey. So that's why it's aptly named Granite City. So yeah, that one I did know, because there's a couple of people I know that live up there, so that's the only reason I knew that one. Like, I didn't have to Google it. But yeah, Aberdeen.
Oh my god. I honestly don't know where that came from. I can't say that I knew that and that I'm knowledgeable. That was a total guess. But I'm happy. I'll take it. It's a win.
And your last question, we're going to take you back to your childhood with this question. Okay. So the characters Miss Hooley, Archie, Josie Jump, Edie McCready are from which children's early 2000s TV show?
I do know this. What's it called? Ballamore?
Yay!
Do you know, I think that's where I got mixed up with Balmoral Castle, because it sounds similar, and my brain was going, "It's not Balmoral Castle, that's made up." But I'm like, "Is that?" Yeah, Balmoral, I do remember.
Imagine the Queen lived in Ballamore.
You know, I seen an episode, but it wasn't something I ever watched when I was wee.
I grew up with it. It was on every morning on BBC Kids or CBeebies, I think it was. I don't know if it's still called that, but at the time it was CBeebies, and it was always on at 8:30, and you got to watch it before you went to school, and it was such a bop. Honestly, the theme song for that is so good. I think children's TV it's not as good as it used to be. Like, I don't know. But nah, that was just something I thought, oh, I'll need to throw that one in there, because the song came on like a YouTube ad the other day, and I just was like, oh, my childhood. So I'm glad you got it. But yeah, can you imagine the Queen lived in Ballamore, and like that's what her castle was called? I live in Ballamore Castle. Like, that would be amazing.
Okay, everyone, so that is us at the end of episode 4 of the Junket folder. Again, I can't believe that we're on episode 4. It's absolutely crazy to me. They're just coming thick and fast. I have other guests booked for the next couple of months, so I'll be really busy. If anyone knows anybody that wants to be on the show, honestly, please just send me a DM on Instagram. All my social links will be down below. Don't forget to subscribe, my goodness, to my YouTube channel, because every subscription just, makes me look more professional. So if you've got some time, I'd really appreciate you just hitting that button. But yeah, massive thank you, pick up this mic now,
Massive thank you to my guest, Natalie Erskine. You've been incredible. I've absolutely loved having you on the show, and I've loved getting to know you even better. And every time I hear a Shania Twain song, I will think of you. And every time I watch Tangled, I will think of you too.
Thanks for having me on. I had so much fun.
That's no problem at all. You're welcome back anytime. If I get Shania, I will phone you. You'll just drop what you're doing. You'll come on the show.
I will.
So thanks for watching, everybody. And Natalie, I hope you have an amazing day. And I will hopefully see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.